Roll call, please, Deputy City Clerk.
Commissioner Dollison. Here. Commissioner Mercer. Here. Commissioner Dantzler. Mayor Pro Tem Yates.
Here.
And Mayor Birdsong.
Here. Okay, all right, so this proclamation we'll do that Monday night, right?
That is correct, sir. Yes. And Anna Rivera, who's with the Puerto Rican Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, will be with us that evening, as well as the DEI team from within the city.
Okay, good. All right, and then I'll do my statement, and then we have the ordinance's second reading, since we've reviewed these now, what, 2 times?
On the budget and millage, I'd say several times. We've covered those, but
Yeah. So there's nothing new there, so let's move right along. Comments from the audience, second reading, these second readings,
no changes since
No
first readings
changes.
last week.
okay? So that's 11A, so no changes on 11B,
No, sir.
11C,
No, sir.
11D,
No, sir.
11E,
No, sir.
consent agenda. Okay,
Okay, so we'll go through these items. So the first one is a settlement agreement between the city and the Callan Trust. This is pertaining to a well that exists on property that is owned by the Callan Trust. This is something that the city has had access to since the purchase of the Garden Grove water system in 1998. And it's part of our inventory of available potable water wells under our water use permit. There is some renewals that have to take place with that, and there was a dispute about whether a timely renewal of the lease had been made by the city a few years back. And as a result of the ongoing dispute, we actually stopped using that well in an effort to show good faith while we work through a settlement. We have since, between the city attorney's office, our water department, my office, and representatives of the trust, come up with a valuation of the property that includes the well to be acquired at the cost of $93,000. And so a settlement agreement to that effect has been prepared. This basically gives us ownership of the land. This is a small parcel just off of Lake Merriam, is it, Gary? I believe. And so we will own that sliver of land as well as the well that's on there, which gives us some greater flexibilities going forward with our water use permit and our water demands, and gets us out of that long-term lease.
all right.
Where is this exactly?
Trying to think, I don't think we'll get a map for Monday evening, Commissioner Dantzler, but it's going to be kind of off of, it's going to be just west of Overlook Drive in like the Valencia Wood Hills area,
Okay.
up on the southern shore of Lake Merriam. And I'm not sure what road it is that goes back into it, but there's, it's right at the entrance to this small little neighborhood. But back
I've been
in
there a
that,
million times, I've never noticed it.
yeah, we'll get a map that depicts that, so we can display that for you Monday night, or we can just send that out through email if you'd prefer, either way.
Not a big deal, I just like to know.
Okay, 12B is sort of straightforward.
Yep, there's a little additional cost with that project from what we had originally anticipated, and the fact sheet identifies that, how that will be handled. Let me just touch, if I can, on the financial impact. So there's about $1.42 million remaining in the project itself, the budget for the HVAC. There's about $100,000 available from the Lake Conine Recreation Project contingency that will not be needed for that project. And then the balance of about almost $500,000 will be allocated from the general fund balance without impacting our 30% threshold there. And that project has been approved as required by the state, since it is their building.
Okay, 12C.
12C, this is a developer's agreement with the VMAR Developments. This is Villamar, and we've been participating with them through development agreements for installation of alternative water supply transmission mains. They are presently widening Cunningham Road to include a right-hand turn at the intersection of County Road 653, and our staff has requested the developer extend the 20-inch AWS transmission line in conjunction with that road widening. So they'll do that work, we simply pay for it. It's a not-to-exceed cost of $670,071.58, and that funding is available between what's allocated in the current fiscal year as well as what's to be appropriated in fiscal year '25.
Okay. 12D?
12D is, this is a transfer of some county roads. So this is a portion of West Lake Eloise Drive and a portion of Shell Road, basically in concert with the Harmony development. So those two sections of roads will actually, the north leg there that says portion of West Lake Eloise Drive, the bulk of that will go away entirely because you'll have a new road that comes in, the realignment of that, and then there'll be somewhat of a realignment of that portion of Shell Road. Those are going to be completely contained within or immediately adjacent to Harmony and certainly surrounded by city lands. So it is simply a transfer of those roadways to the city, which we are agreeable to. I will note that there is, and Eric, I'm going to ask you the name of that additional road.
Westlake Eloise Terrace.
So Westlake Eloise Terrace comes off of Westlake Eloise Drive. I don't know if my mouse is going to let me drive to it or not. Eric, if you can show that. So it's this small road that goes back to a number of homes that are on the west side of Lake Eloise. That one will be coming back to us at a future date for a transfer as well. That's also a county-maintained right-of-way. But we're still waiting for improvements to be made in that area and the bonding necessary to secure those improvements. But that's another one that will end up being a city road ultimately.
Okay. 12E?
12E, this is improvements or replacement of HVAC at Fire Station 1. So this system has become outdated and not real efficient or reliable. So we're doing a lot of maintenance repairs in there. It's the air conditioning units in the admin building as well. So that property overall is about 14 years old. And so the total cost for the replacement and installation of that new AC system is $208,040. The fiscal year budget for '24 has about $33,000 for HVAC replacement and maintenance, and the remaining funding will be provided by available funds within the fire department to cover the AC unit replacement, a mini split installation, and the installation of the necessary controls.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
can we go back to 12D real quick? Or actually, it's not 12D, but I guess what you were mentioning on that road back to those homes.
The terrace,
Yeah, so I just wanted to double check before I spoke, but, so those homes are not actually in the city limits of Winter Haven?
no, but the road itself, the land to the north of it and the land to the south of it is part of the Harmony development.
So because of that, we'd want to, even though the main users of that road are going to be county residents?
Initially, those that are back in that area today, yes, that is correct. But when Harmony develops, that will not be the case because you'll have so much residential that is within the city adjacent to that road. Eric, anything beyond that?
Yeah, and the developer will be improving the east-west section of that road as part of the Harmony development. They'll be rebuilding that road.
Have we gone and knocked on those doors to see if they want to just annex on into the city, or?
We have not, sir, but when I'm ready to do that, I'll
postcard
check
out
your
to
schedule to see your availability.
I'm down. Let's do it.
Griffiths live in one of those houses? Yeah. I believe so.
All right. 12F.
12F, so this is our Winter Haven Area Transit District agreement. The last one that we did was executed for the period of October 1st of '22. It expires at the end of this month. So they have sent us a new agreement. It is the same cost, annual cost, as what it has been for the past 2 years. This is also a 2-year agreement, and the cost for both years will remain the same. So that is $293,824.46 per year, and that is appropriately budgeted for fiscal year '25 and will be included in the budget for '26 as well.
Questions? 12G?
So this is our TIP for fiscal year '24. So our staff has identified 31 roads within the 4 quadrants of the city that are eligible for resurfacing. These are roads that have a pavement condition index or a PCI rating ranging from 30 to 40. So this is the worst roads in terms of overall PCI rating. It's very difficult to see on this. We will make sure that you have a printed out copy of this for Monday. But the approach we're taking here to really address those roads, and because we're right up at the fiscal year end, we have a $1.118 million remaining in the current year budget for our TIP. To do all these roads, the total cost is about $1.706 million. So what we're recommending is that we issue a purchase order for the amount that is left on this current year's budget. And then, once the new budget takes effect, issue a change order and draw down from the transportation fund the balance to do the rest of the roads. It won't all, it's going to take us a few weeks to get these done, obviously. So we'll knock out what we can based off of the fiscal year '24 funds available, and then do a change order to add in those additional dollars to complete the projects. Trying to see if if you look in your app, in your Granicus app, there is a PDF of 2024 mill and fill roadway list. So you can see by name where those roads are. But we'll improve the map so we can make that a lot more clear for you.
Is it the green sections, MJ? Those are the ones you're going to do? And you're going to do that for 1.7 million? That seems to me like that's a pretty good deal. But to me, that's a lot of roads to redo.
I was just wondering, so it says paving, and striping, but sometimes you all don't stripe.
Right, so generally we'll only stripe back the roads that have striping. So if it's a road that has center line striping, but in like a neighborhood road, they'll restripe the stop bars. So that's the striping that might occur if it's like a local road.
How hard would it be for us to have another column over here to show us like mileage, like the Bert Schultz Boulevard? Is that 0.1 mile or is that a whole mile?
Yeah,
How hard would that be?
No, we can get you that. And overall, it's about 7 miles overall, which is, I think Brittany and I were discussing earlier, is one of the largest paving efforts we've done in a very long time. And we'll have an interactive map, so you can actually zoom in and kind of see the roads. And we'll get you the link for that.
I like that. It's good.
The,
Good job, Brittany.
Yeah, there you go. The other roads on there are just roads we've touched in recent years, so we're making significant headway on roadway improvements citywide.
What about these sidewalks? You put any sidewalks in?
With this project, we're not putting in sidewalks, but we're always addressing that with the build of new roadways and complete street projects and those type of things. One of the notes I had was, while this is the roads we're going to tackle with the TIP dollars that you all committed to, there's a number of roadways in the city that are being improved outside of those transportation dollars, like Lake Elbert or at the southern section of Lake Howard,
Where we are adding sidewalks.
where we are getting sidewalks on both of those projects.
Yeah, that's a good point that, if you've driven Lake Elbert, which Commissioner or Mayor Pro Tem Yates and I did today, there is no road on the west side of Lake Elbert right now. It's just lime rock. So that will be a complete resurfacing as well. That's not part of this. Keep in mind that this is the mill and resurface list. So any roads that we look to do later into fiscal year '25 with microsurfacing or some of the other asphalt rejuvenation, like we've done a lot in downtown recently, that further extends those life expectancies of the road as well.
There's a stop sign at the corner of 11th Street and Albert Drive that was blocking half of the road.
Coming southbound from the college to Lake Elbert Drive?
Yes.
Okay.
And for you to turn left to go around Lake Elbert to go east, you have to get in the oncoming lane in order because the stop sign is.
We'll get somebody to take a look at that right away.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we're now to resolutions 13A.
So this is pertaining to our industrial wastewater limitations table. So Plant 3 uses an advanced water treatment process that is regulated by DEP, and part of the permit issued for this facility establishes industrial pretreatment program requirements, and those limits must be reevaluated during each 5-year permit renewal cycle. So in 2022, the city submitted its local industrial limit reevaluation study to DEP. And just in summary, that analysis demonstrated local limits for industrial wastewater discharged into the city's wastewater system should be increased for 6 of the parameters that are tested, decreased for 5, and remain the same for 10 of the parameters. It's noted that an increase in a parameter indicates its limit is less stringent than what it previously would have been. The proposed revised and modified changes have received final approval by DEP and must now be adopted by the city via resolution. Staff's assessment of this is that it will not affect the city's budget, and it's expected that existing industrial customers will not incur any added expense as a result of these changes. So we're recommending staff approve, or the commission approve Resolution R2443 to adopt those revised and modified limitations.
I
Okay.
just have a question.
Yes.
Just curious, since a lot of them that have the lower level, I guess, are metals, how do you, Gary, I guess, how are you going to do that? Because the treatment plant being a biological plant doesn't remove metals. So I can talk to you
Magnets,
afterwards.
maybe?
Huh?
Big magnets,
Magnets, is that what you said?
clean out the metals from the sludge?
I do at the recycling plant.
You have to keep in mind, this is for industries primarily that are discharging to our system. So we really don't have any heavy industries that are using metals, so to speak. We do have the Florida can, so there might be some aluminum that would be in the wastewater. But for the most part, all of our industries are food-related, so I don't anticipate that any of the metals will be an issue.
And no special treatment or anything?
Right, and if there was special treatment, we would require the industry to install that before,
A pre-treat?
yeah.
All right. Then we have no new business. The liaison reports, city attorney, city manager, deputy city manager, and city clerk. Then emergency matters not received for the agenda. Are there any other things that anyone have before we adjourn?
Who's going tomorrow? Everybody going tomorrow night to the Chamber Makers Cup? Everybody gonna we have a full table?
Yep.
Okay.
I think we have, I think through our sponsorship and coordination with the chamber, there's 2 tables that I think we have confirmations from all the commissioners. I think Commissioner Yates is going with his corporation, and then the majority of your leadership team, department directors. Mayor, I just want to remind the commission that on Friday morning, MJ and I will be traveling to the International City County Management Association Conference in Pittsburgh, returning Monday morning, so we'll be back in time for City Commission. During our absence, Assistant City Manager Charlie Bird will be point for anything that comes up. Go easy on them.
Okay, and I just want to let you all know I'm going to Dallas, Texas on Friday, and I'll be returning Monday morning as well, so hopefully I'm back for our meeting at 6 o'clock, but I just stay on ready.
Fun night on Monday.
You may have an assistant city manager up here, and Brian, you may be running the meeting, you never know.
I wonder this is such a light agenda. Now I get it.
We're at the end of the fiscal year, we don't have a whole lot left we can do, so.
Beautiful. We can call Team about that budget.
Charlie.
Motion to adjourn.
Kind of ran off the rails.
So moved.
We stand adjourned.